Surviving infidelity. Thoughts 31 years later. It's been nearly 31 years since I came home from work one day on a spring Friday, and my ex nervously informed me that she has been having an affair and was in love with another man and needed to move out. At the time, we had a daughter that had just turned 3 a month prior, and my career was just starting to go places. I remember being in such a great mood on that Friday. Ours was 16-year marriage, 5 years high school sweethearts prior that had hit some not great points, but nothing like this was remotely expected. I was really working to make our marriage better. We had a lot to look forward to. My ex even admitted as much when she told me that she knew I was really trying, but that only made her more angry that I was actually trying. I moved out the next day Saturday and started a whole new life. I was so devastated I left with only my clothes. We were divorced a couple months later. Reflecting 31 years later as a 67-year-old, that has experienced a whole lot in life. I was a super involved single father, a business owner, world traveler, in and out of far too many relationships. I have to admit, I never returned to being the same person as before. It changes everything. It's a crushing blow to a man to be told he is just not good enough, that I found someone better. That motivated in many ways and kept me down as well in others. From then on, nearly everything about how you view things changed. Looking back, it's a mixed bag of emotions and changes. I both gained a lot and lost a lot at that moment. I think it's like most things, life experiences are like a half-filled glass of water. You get through it by appreciating all that you have and what you gained, rather than mourn over what you don't. You never love the same, the experience plagues you in that way, or in my case, I never did. From my perspective 31 years later, I probably would not change much. I would have missed out on many of the amazing experiences I've gained as a result and those in my future. New doors open while some of the old ones close. Now for the top comments. You showed us that the best revenge is live happily as always, leave a cheater and gain a new life. Always good to hear success stories. How was your relationship with your daughter after the divorce, and how long did your ex's relationship with affair partner last? I have a very special relationship with my daughter. She's married with 2 kids of her own, but she knows absolutely I'd do anything for her and her family. I put in the time as a father. That time is never lost. How does she feel about her mother after she betrayed you and left with another man, if I may ask? She was barely 3. She's 34 now and I don't think she has a single memory of her mom and dad together. The affair partner was also married and had twin 2-year-olds. None of the girls have memory. Agreed. If we would have stayed together, I would have had a much smaller life. Consumed by her cheating, but also by her selfishness, belittling, and mistreatment. Zero passion, not knowing what it is like to be truly loved passionately for years. Amazing kids, a warm, loving home, world travel, all kinds of things I wouldn't have experienced had we stayed together. Honestly, I'm grateful she's out of my life. I feel the same. I was treated like a tool for so long, that's all I knew. When I see her now, which is rarely, I count my blessings. You never love the same. Very true, but I think in that moment of readjustment there is an opportunity. I kind of knew I couldn't love the same or trust the same when I fell in love with a woman in every way more amazing than my ex, but couldn't get the deepest part of me to really get in there. Something felt off. But I realized that deepest part was where I truly needed to love myself. It's like I wasn't fully there yet, and instead, gave it away to my ex when I fell for her. When she left, it felt like she took something from me, but I just needed to grow it back and make it mine. Part of it was telling myself that every physical feeling of love she gave me actually came from my own body. I could start to disassociate the physical feeling of love from her, to realize it can come from all sorts of connections, with nature, with a friend, with art and music. I have now done it through self-improvement, discovery and practice self-love, even taking myself on dates, and now have a partner I love to bits. I only attracted her into my life after I truly learned to love myself. It was literally the next day after this realization of actual self-love that I met her. Will I give her that part of my heart? I don't think so. Maybe if I have kids they will get it. I just know it's actually safer with me and I feel more secure and independent, and it actually has made for an incredibly balanced team-like relationship. In my last relationship, which was months shy of a decade and ended about 3 years ago, I really didn't have a self-interest at all. I put the relationship in front of just about everything. Now I consider 3 interests that have no hierarchy but rather a balance: the relationship, mine, and my SO. I just wanted to put that out there to anyone looking for support. I know how it feels to feel like love isn't the same and it's broken. If you are feeling that way, it might be that the missing piece is loving yourself and you never quite got there, but replaced it with something that isn't there anymore. Go out there and build it up within yourself. Even a spaceship starts with a spark. Now for the next story. I finally broke up with my girlfriend of over 8 years, and I feel awful. I feel completely broken, and I don't know where else to turn. Some backstory: I met my girlfriend when I was 18 and was completely in love. I still am. But the road has been extremely tough. Her mother is pure evil and kicked her out when we were about 6 months into our relationship, so she moved in with me. Me and my family took care of her, and we spent every waking hour together. Fast forward to a few years ago, and she moved to another province for about 8 months. We were starting to fall apart, and she made the trip back to try and save us. In the time that she returned, I found out that she cheated on me while she was away. It completely broke my spirit. She didn't tell me, I had to find out for myself. But I convinced myself that it was a one-night mistake that happened because she was away and I moved past it. We started to grow again together, and I thought things were back to normal. I was finally happy again, and I thought nothing could break us apart. I was planning on asking her to marry me this summer. Then last Friday, I found out that she has been sending pictures and videos to several different guys. She has been sneaking around, lying to me, and working around my schedule for over a month to do this. They are extremely graphic actual videos, things that she would never have done with me. She assured me that it has only been online, nothing has happened in person, but I broke down again. I begged her to explain herself and she couldn't. But she made an appointment for mental health, and she is making steps to try and better herself. I kept giving her time to try and prove that she could make things right. That she really loves me, and she is willing to fight to make this work. And in many ways she has, but I still can't get this event out of my mind. Today, I went to talk to my dad and we talked all night about it. I know what I should do, but I haven't had the strength to do it. Until about an hour ago. I told her that we had to break up, that I can't live like this, and I can't wait around to have it happen again. I've never felt so betrayed, and I can't have it happen again. She left for the night to go see her sister, and since she left, I've felt like crap. All I wanted to do is to give her another chance. I can't imagine life without her. She's basically a part of my family at this point, and unfortunately, I love her deeply. But I can't get past what she did to me. What do I do? I really need advice. Any advice at all. I feel totally lost right now. Now for the top advice. It gets better. You can help get there faster. Exercise, meditate, get therapy or whatever you need to do to work through it. Just always remember that cheating is a reflection of the defects in her character, not yours. I believe the best revenge is a life well lived. Well put. Thank you for the advice. I know I'll get through this, but comments like yours reassure me that I did the right thing. I'm one of those guys who kept giving second chances. Don't do it, dude. You are wasting your time there. It hurts and it's hard, but leaving her will be the best thing for you. Maybe it's hard to see it now, but the future is unknown. There are 8 billion people in this freaking planet. You think only her can make you happy? It took me a while to gather my thoughts so I can give you constructive advice instead of just ranting. Here it is. Let me give you an example. A woman is taken into the ER because her husband beat her half to death. The doctors managed to save and heal her broken bones, and when the husband visits, he explains it was a one-time mistake and it would never happen again. However, this is not the first time he's harmed her, just the first time it was so bad she had to go to the ER. When confronted as to why he did it, the husband can't give an explanation as to why, but promises to better himself. They had been together for 8 years and have a lot of history together. Should she take him back? Why do I use this example? Because right now you are the mistreated wife and your girlfriend is the abuser. She mistreated your trust, your relationship, and disrespected you. You might think this is not as bad as physical harm, but it is. Trust is the foundation of a relationship, and without it, it's not even a relationship but a codependent toxic bond. She has ruined your trust not once but several times, and only admitted to it once caught, not out of guilt. Much like that husband, she has no explanation as to why she did it, and therefore, no assurance that it won't happen again. Everything else, flaws in the relationship, mistakes on your part, etc., those things don't matter. Part of being an adult is confronting problems in your life, and she failed to talk to you about the problems in yours, and instead took the easy way out of finding satisfaction elsewhere. You know who else does that? Addicts. Would you trust an addict with access to your bank account? Then why would you trust a cheater with your heart? I know it hurts, and the fact she's probably your first real adult relationship, you got together at 18, makes it seem like you'll never find love again. But you will. You'll cry and feel the pain of this loss, but you'll recover and hopefully learn from this. Here's some advice from an older guy to a guy who, to be honest, is still half a boy in some ways. When it comes to your SO, never attempt to keep their love. Love is ethereal and you can never ensure it stays since it belongs to another person. In a relationship, you should always focus on keeping their respect. Now, I don't mean respect as in being misogynistic and controlling. I mean that know what your boundaries are and never bend them for your SO. Ever. Cheating is a deal breaker, and if you forgive her, you will give her permission to do it again. You will be bluntly telling her that no matter what she does, you are too weak and dependent on her to leave her, so she doesn't have to care about your feelings. She will cheat again and again and you will probably be one of those guys that has to raise other men's children without knowing. It may seem exaggerated, but do you really want to take that chance? Especially with how family court favors the mother and will force you to support the child, even if it's not yours? It's time to be an adult. It will hurt, but ending the relationship is for the best. Thank you for being blunt. I think that's exactly what I needed. You put it perfectly. I really appreciate you taking the time to help me out. I'm going to read this over every time I get a doubt about my decision. Thanks again, friend. Edit. Thank you to everyone who left a comment. Your generosity and insight was exactly what I needed. I appreciate every one of you. I am completely overwhelmed with all the love you have shown, and help you have given. I have decided to stick to my guns and keep with my decision. It will be tough, but it will be worth it. I can't thank you all enough. You've helped me more than you know. Now for the last story. I don't want to be this angry. My 35 male, soon-to-be ex, 35 female, had an online affair with 2 different guys. She's now in a relationship with one of them, despite the fact that he's halfway around the world. She's done nothing but lie to me about this since we've broken up, letting me think that it was just because we had grown apart, and that she'd always be my best friend. Which is a particularly good one, seeing as how she haven't had an actual conversation with, besides telling me we're done and I don't remember how long. She was always stuck in her phone. I told her not to talk to me unless it has to do with our daughter, or our separation. Seeing as how I now look at everything she tells me under a microscope, I feel this is fair. She can't seem to comprehend why I can't be her friend, and don't believe her when she says she feels remorse for what she's done. You don't feel remorse. You're still with this kid, you feel remorse because you got caught. Now, if we have to be around one another, I don't talk to her unless it's business. I'll out and out ignore her if she tries to have any sort of conversation, or just snap at her. I don't want to be this angry at her, but I can't help it. I had trust issues before, but now I feel like almost everyone is out to get me. I don't want to be this angry at her, but I can't help it. I'd much prefer to have polite conversation with her, but I just can't. I also don't want to have the horrible dreams that I've been having, or not have everything remind me of her, or cry and drink myself to sleep. She's even using a daughter to try to manipulate me into being civil with her, saying she's picking up on the tension between us. Well, perhaps she should have thought of that before she destroyed my trust in people. I did take her for granted, but she took me for granted too. If she would have put half the effort into me that she put into either of these guys, we'd probably be okay. I hate her, but I still love her. I wish that I could turn that off. It sounds like you're keeping strong boundaries for the benefit of everyone. That's good. Taking care of yourself should be a priority now, and it's not your responsibility to cater to her requests for more engagement from you. With distance and time, you'll feel better. Your anger will fade as you become more comfortable without her. For now, though, that pain and anger is an indication that you need to keep nursing your wound and go through the grieving process. Keep the boundaries. Get whatever help you need to heal, and trust that you're getting better every day. You are doing the right thing. She only wants to be friends so she can feel less like the bad guy, and not because she cares about your pain or your daughter noticing. Just continue with your boundaries and grey rock her completely. She will hate it and it will get easier with time. Give her zero reaction to anything. She lost the right to be your friend when she cheated, Who cares what she says or wants? Look up the techniques known as gray rocking, and probably necessary to look up the 182. These will undoubtedly help you when you need to talk to her when absolutely necessary. The rest comes with time and probably a shift in focus towards something else, be it work, your kid, a hobby, etc. I've been trying to gray rock. I'm not doing too hot though. Everything I say to her is laced with anger. Are you all separated? You need distance away from her. You can't just be friends due to the emotional damage done. Maybe over time, but not this early in the emotional trauma. And maybe never. I've told her the same thing when she told me we were done, then again when I had found out what she had done. And that's it for this video, guys. If you have thoughts to share, leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like this content. I'll catch you in the next one. Good day everyone.